Love in the 21st century. We have apps to find it, books to explain it, and endless advice on how to keep it. Yet relationships are falling apart faster than ever. The truth is, there's something fundamental that we're missing, a hidden flaw that could spell the difference between a thriving partnership and one that slowly fades away. And it's not what you think. As a matter of fact, these tricky little troublemakers are so commonplace, you might be guilty of it right now without even realizing. What if I told you that the very thing you feel is protecting your relationship could actually be its undoing? Let's pull back the curtain on the number one mistake that's destroying modern relationships, the dangerous habit of making assumptions. Imagine this. Your partner comes home late from work, and instead of asking why, you immediately think they don't care about spending time with me, or they seem distant one evening, and you assume they're upset with you. These thoughts swirl around in your mind, leading to frustration, resentment, and eventually arguments. Often, those assumptions don't reflect reality. Perhaps your partner was late because of a last-minute meeting or distant because they're dealing with stress at work. But without asking, how would you know? Assumptions can create a ripple effect in your relationship. They lead to misunderstandings, which then cause hurt feelings. And before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle of unnecessary conflict. As relationship expert Dr. John Gottman says, assumptions are the termites of relationships. They quietly eat away at the foundation of trust and communication, two things every relationship needs to thrive. Whether you're dealing with a small dispute or a major disconnect, the question arises, how do you break this cycle? The answer lies in open and honest communication. Instead of jumping to conclusions, take a moment to pause and ask your partner what's really going on. It might feel awkward at first, especially if you're not used to talking about your feelings, but it's a crucial step in building a stronger connection. Here's a simple phrase you can use. Hey, I noticed you've been a bit quiet today. Is everything okay? This opens the door for your partner to share what's on their mind, and it shows that you care enough to ask rather than assume. If your partner seems distant, instead of assuming they're upset with you, try saying, "You seem a bit off today. Is there anything you want to talk about?" Or if they're late coming home, instead of thinking they don't care, ask, "Was work crazy today? You got home later than usual?" These small shifts in how you approach situations can make a huge difference. Not only will you avoid unnecessary arguments, but you'll also create an environment where both of you feel safe to express yourselves without fear of judgment. Experts agree that making assumptions is one of the biggest barriers to effective communication in relationships. Psychologist Dr. Terry Orbuch emphasizes, when you make assumptions, you are essentially shutting down any possibility of understanding your partner's perspective. She suggests practicing active listening and asking open-ended questions to keep the lines of communication clear and open. Another key aspect of fixing this mistake is practicing empathy. Put yourself in your partner's shoes. How would you feel if they assumed the worst about you without giving you a chance to explain? By approaching your partner with empathy and understanding, you're not just fixing the current issue, but you're also strengthening your relationship overall. So, next time you feel that familiar frustration bubbling up, ask yourself, am I assuming or am I communicating? Remember, assumptions are the silent relationship killers, but with a little effort, you can replace them with understanding and connection. Now let's hear from you. Have you ever caught yourself making assumptions in your relationship? How did it affect things? Drop a comment below and share your experience. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to share it with someone who might need to hear this too.